All right, some Jund Oven. So various green-black based Cauldron Familiars, Witch's Oven, Trail of Breadcrumb decks. They banned. You can take the Oko out of the format, but you can't take the food away from the kitty. So food decks are still top dog in the format, especially with Wicked Wolf, literally top dog. This build in particular is splashing a little bit of red for Mayhem Devil, as well as a Corvoral Baker's King here at the top end. So Mayhem Devil is not only good against other decks, it triggers whenever any player sacrifices a permanent, but it puts our Cat Oven into overdrive. We also have a pseudo combo kill in this deck with God-Eternal Bontu. So like with Mayhem Devil out, you can play Bontu, trigger, sack your whole board, deal a damage to your opponent for every permanent you sacrifice to really close games out. I like God-Eternal Bontu as a big go over the top card in the Cat Oven mirrors because the games tend to go long. So having this like, all right, I played this thing and you died is very good. Cavalier of Night is sweet, not only as just like a utility card, but it also rebuys our Mayhem Devil in the longer games, which is nice. So last time we played this, it felt very reasonable. Let's go ahead and dive on into some standard play with it and see how it goes today. A lot of the complaint, I mean, Magic players are always going to complain regardless about what's popular, but a lot of the complaints I've seen regarding the cat food decks are in large part due to the fact that mechanically playing these decks on Magic Arena tends to be very slow, which I think is a fair criticism, and like people tend to play slowly on Magic Arena, so when you take slow players and give them decks that mechanically are slow to execute, it can generate very tedious gameplay for people. Which again, I think that's a fair criticism. Vraska's pretty good here. Goose is actually a pretty good draw, because lets me do this. So Vraska's going to be able to kill my Mayhem Devil, but that's fine, because Mayhem Devil's going to go ahead and kill the Paradise Druid before that happens. So I think this exchange is okay for me. Because then she's not going to have enough loyalty to kill Trail of Breadcrumbs. I'll have to start generating card advantage with that.
Don't be surprised if we meet again.
That's actually a good draw. That's a little bit punishing for having, ran out the Mayhem Devil when I did, but I think that's fine. The question is, do I want a Murderous Rider now, or do I want a Trail of Breadcrumbs, and then I think I want a Breadcrumbs and like draw a card to start. I could draw an Oven here too, which would be nice. I think auto yield like MTGO would improve. Yeah, I think being able to always yield to specific triggers would be a net positive for sure. All right, with the Mayhem Devil drawn here, I might not even have to burn the Murderous Rider on this. So Cavalier of Thorns is interesting here. I could Murderous Rider it in response to the trigger, which ruins its enter the battlefield effect. I think that's ideal. Means I lose out on a little bit of value, but it means they don't just like rebuy their Vraska after I take it off the table. So by killing this in response, whatever they're going to put on top of their deck, it's just going to get cleared past by the enter the battlefield trigger. So they should just decline putting this Paradise Druid on top. Yeah, this is smart. Clack Bridge Troll. Their build's kind of unique. Wonder if they're not a cat food deck. Money Mike, thanks for the 2 months of support there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, so let's make a food, play Mayhem Devil, and then go ahead and sleight a hand here, which also lets me ping the Vraska so I can't kill my Mayhem Devil.
I'm still here.
Man, the stuck audio has been real obnoxious since 2 patches ago. The patch at the end of last week added it. Or like just like gets one sound effect real stuck on. Oh, my Twitch chat's not up, is it? Nope, it is. Oh, right, when they sack something, Mayhem Devil lets me poke her. That's great.
Try harder than that.
There was a patch yesterday that added our ugly little friend. Well, shoot. Okay.
Shadows.
Okay.
Now.
Yep. And they know about Murderous Rider here, so yeah, I expect to see them just cash this in. Breadcrumbs drew me a couple of cards, but we're still a little bit behind here. Do they have another blocker is the question. Doesn't look like it. So I think I'm just supposed to Rider the Goose and then smack the Vraska for 1. I could get into trouble here if they have like a trophy, like if they kill my cat. The Vraska is, but I think it's worth trying to like cut through their Goose here. They're almost out of resources, but they do have this Castle Locthwain here. We're a little bit ahead at the moment with these Riders in exile here too, but... Yep. So when you have Mayhem Devil in your deck, you want to wait to bring the cat back till your next turn if it's not attacking, and we can't attack into the 4-4 anyways. So I'm going to draw for my turn before we bring the cat back. Because should we draw Mayhem Devil there, we get rewarded for waiting. You can't double block Questing Beast, because Questing Beast can't be blocked by creatures that have 2 or less power. Oh, I'm dumb. I should have sacked the Brontodon to the Witch's Oven. The reason why I didn't is because I'm dumb. So they have a Murderous Rider that they didn't need to have if I'd have sacked the thing. Again, gonna wait to bring it back because we can draw Mayhem Devil. Can also draw Trail of Breadcrumbs, like so. Hey, Lovin, welcome back. Thanks for the support. Alright, I'm gonna cook this now. Murderous Rider's not bad. I can kill the questing beast here. So I miss out on a Trail of Breadcrumbs trigger this way, but I get to attack with the Murderous Rider this turn, which is nice. To make a difference, would you sacrifice it? Doesn't. I just wanted to keep the other artwork. That's pretty unfortunate. That's great. Hey, Marl Owl, thank you for Marl Owie. Thank you for the Prime support. I appreciate that. And there's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that, keeping me employed here. Let's draw a couple of cards here and see where we go. This has Menace, so if I want to block, I have to double block. I took an extra land last turn, because ideally I'd like to get up to 8 mana, so I can go Mayhem Devil plus Bontu in the same turn, ideally. What's the max cards in hand before you stop using Castle? I mean, one of the reasons why Magic's an interesting game is because there aren't binary answers to questions like that. I can't just say, like, this is what you always do, this is what you never do. Magic's got a lot more depth than be able to make hard and fast rules with that. I should have gotten Vraska there, probably. I'm gonna play this and just pass for now. We'll probably double activate the oven at end step. I like how we had 3 separate hands with this deck, right? Lot of card advantage. I will say that drawing cards is great, and you probably aren't drawing enough cards. I agree with that. The correct number is you should stop drawing cards when you're going to die. 10 out of 10 recommend stop drawing cards if you're going to die. Yeah, I don't like Spike very often. This deck just like kind of appeals to me. I think this deck's very good though. I'd be very surprised if something close to this doesn't see play at the Mythic Championship coming up. Yeah, if we find a second Devil here, which we've seen a lot of cards, so second Devil's like pretty likely. Like next turn I'm gonna get to like draw and like have all these triggers happen again, so like, you know, there's how many cards at the bottom of Verdict at this point that we know? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 12 cards out of 30 on the bottom that we know. So don't really want to fetch at the moment. Yeah, Cavalier would be good too, because it eventually gets back double. We also have 3 Cavaliers in our deck. Corvold will let us like turbo draw our deck, so it just like wouldn't matter. Good golly. I think I'm just gonna hang tight for the time being and pass back here. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I think Oven decks and just Skyfires are the 2 best decks in this format currently. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. There's a reasonable amount of variety. I'd be surprised if there's a Dimir deck that's super competitive. Not having a way to interact with permanents like these is a pretty big drawback for something like the Dimir color combination. Maybe I should have done this last turn so I could Cavalier like this. Alright, so if their cards are bricks, I get to kill them this turn. I've seen some players play Temur Rec. I think Temur Rec's awful. I think people play Temur Rec because they like the type of deck it is, not because it's good. It wasn't a mistake that Temur Rec was the single worst performing deck at the Twitch Rivals tournament. Sad. Well, there's still 2 more Mayhem Devils in our deck, so I guess we just, like, keep the passing going. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, people play decks that they enjoy, so. Again, I would be surprised if Temur Rec and Dimir are decks that are going to be super competitive in this format. Does that mean people aren't going to play them? Definitely not. People are still going to play them. People still play Jund Modern, ain't that the truth? I'd like to add that one to my trophy case. Thanks for the goats. Clackbridge plus Massacre Girl is cute. Seems worse than just like baking cats though. Since WotC technically owns Death Row Records, do you think that's preventing your Oko rep from launching your rep career? I don't know. You think a standard build of Abzan Hero would be viable? Yeah, potentially. I think Kaya's one of the best cards in the format for beating up these Oven decks. So a deck that could play a bunch of Kayas sounds potentially very good. Casualties of War and Command the Dreadhorde both seem very good in a mid-rangey matchup like what we're playing here. My opponent's deck doesn't really seem like it has a lot of cards that Vraska Golgari Queen kills, so I think I'm going to cut these. Yeah, maybe I leave one in because she's okay for drawing on our side of the board. What do we think of this configuration? Yeah, Knight of Autumn seems like a very reasonable card. Abzan Hero would definitely be something I'd take a build around submission for, or if you have your own iteration you've got drawn up, it's likely something I'd accept. As always, you can put your submissions using the form on the website. Tithe Taker has been good versus Oven. That's cute. I don't know if that's good, but it's cute. Flying creatures are super reasonable against Oven. Seraph of the Scales is probably not terrible. Seraph still sucks against 3 mana Teferi, but like she doesn't get Oko'd anymore, so that's great. Nascient's great by its stuff. Yeah, D-Spark's a good card right now too. Agree. Like I said, I think there's good tools for attacking. I think there's good tools for attacking things in this format for sure. All right, how many mono black decks in today's and yesterday's PTQ? Blood-Soaked Champion won the PTQ for the second day in a row. It had a mirror match in the finals. 3 copies total in the top 8. 10 copies in the top 32. Look at that, chat. There were only 10 copies of mono black in the Pioneer PTQ top 32 yesterday. It's fine. Totally not a big deal. How would I nerf mono black? I'd ban Thoughtseize and Copter. If you were like, Jeff, you're allowed to ban whatever you want, I'd ban Thoughtseize and Copter. Seriously? Is it just me, or did the auto tapper get worse? I'm pretty sure the auto tapper got worse. There literally isn't a green card in my hand. There literally isn't a green card in my hand. You have a Mayhem Devil, Jeff. Derp, 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 derp. Like, come on. That's not even real life. Spyglass. This is a reason to leave Vraskas in. I have 2 trophies and 1 Vraska in my deck that can interact with this. I had to pick between one, which would I pick? I think Copter nerfs the black deck better. As much as I hate Thoughtseize, I think just banning Thoughtseize probably doesn't really nerf the black deck enough. Correct. Them picking Oven rather than Familiar is great for us. They also can't name Trail of Breadcrumbs, which is good. Shillings count for bumping decks. Yes, 10,000, 30,000, and 50,000 shillings allow you to bump decks in the queue. Oh, no. Oh, no. Chat, they've ended our Legion. Yikes. Woof. All right. No, the Spyglass is on Oven, chat. The Spyglass is on Oven. They've got our number. They're coming for our kitties. They're coming for our kitties. Hide your cats, chat. They're coming for them. Yeah, the opponent is actually playing Golgari control. For realsies. Alright. Cast Chemist's Insight. And by Chemist's Insight, I mean way, way better Chemist's Insight. Gain 3, look at a bunch, take what you want. Sign me up. Don't read the comments, Marty. Stay strong. I believe in you. I believe in you, Marty. Stay strong. Oh, I forgot we boarded in Casualties of War to kill this too. That's kind of great. Do we have answers to Spyglass? I don't know. Do I have answers to Spyglass, chat? What do we think? Jury might still be out. Uncertain if I have answers to Sorcerer Spyglass. Better check the deck list, yep. Oh no! Please don't give me a land! How will I ever win the game without that trail of breadcrumbs? Land, planeswalker, creature, artifact. You. Bye, friends. Wow, only killed 4 of their 7 permanents. This card even playable? Rude. Rude. This card's gonna see a lot of play this weekend too. If I was showing up to the Mythic Championship and I wanted to win, I would make sure I was playing Casualties of War and Mayhem Devil. Those would be my calls. Those would be the ones I would want. They named Witches Oven, deal. Do I even want to command the Dreadhorde here? It's not this weekend. It's 2 weeks. I didn't say this weekend. If I said this weekend, I said incorrectly. I apologize. All right, so the reason why I full controlled here is I want to sack multiple foods here to this cat so I could just like pay 1 and sleight of hand a bunch, basically. So by holding priority, I get to sit here and do that. I get to respond to my own trigger. You like how they drew a bunch of their hate cards that just didn't matter? You like that's my favorite part about this game. My favorite part is how they just drew infinite cat hate cards that just didn't matter. Because my deck just like drew way more cards than theirs. Bye, Felicia. Yeah, Trail of Breadcrumbs is real good. Unban everything. What if we just unbanned Field of the Dead and Oko? What if we just like left Veil banned and we left Veil and once banned? I actually think that would be very reasonable. I'm actually gonna grab my black source here rather than red, because I don't need red till much later, and I need double black and triple black sooner, ideally. You can name Breadcrumbs with Spyglass. You won't be pleased with the result, though. At the end of the day, nothing else is changing in Standard until the next set drops, chat. There is not going to be an Eldraine Standard 4.0. I feel like I'm confident in saying that. There will not be Eldraine Standard 4.0. Naming, you cannot name food because food is not a card. Well, we're dead. That was good for a good time call. For a good time call. We're not here for a long time, but we're here for a good time. That looked like Zeev Moxkowicz. I'm blanking on his last name. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, or I should say, had posted a Fire's Oven deck. Yeah, is like Duress good here? Maybe. Like, they have a lot of high impact cards, right? What am I supposed to cut? Is like Murderous Rider the trim? I also worry about boarding in too many cards that, like, Trail of Breadcrumbs doesn't hit and, like, making the impact on this card worse overall. Like, looking at this, I still need to cut 5 cards, which is a lot of cards. Rider seems like a fine cut. I'm gonna trim an Oven and a Familiar. Just like trim around the edges down there. If the overlay gets a card stuck on you, you're gonna want to just refresh your page. Or disable and re-enable the overlay. Is Dreadhorde good against them? I have no idea. I couldn't tell you what their deck list contains exactly. Let's play some games and find out together. Maybe I should just Fabled Passage this turn so the goose doesn't get stomped. You can always know what format we're playing based on the title of my stream. Never have to do any guesswork around here. I care about my viewers, so I make sure to have the information available that they want to know. Hey, thanks for the 20 months, Waffle. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Now, Vraska might go after Trail here. Regardless of what she goes after, the Fabled Passage kills her, so that's nice.
What I do is win. I grow bored with this fight.
I'm gonna gain 6 and kill Bone Crusher Giant here, and then attack Vraska, I think. Just clean their board out. Maybe this is wrong, because I have the Bontu in my hand, and like the Bontu could eat the food to draw cards. Could be incorrect because of that. Yeah, I agree Into the Frozen Sky. Modern in its current state is kind of at an all-time low for me personally. Pioneer, Standard, Historic, they've all been very reasonable. So that's nice. It's nice to have multiple formats that we have the option to play. Innkeeper, that's really interesting. Neat. Jund Fire's Adventures. Their deck's pulling in a lot of directions. Escape to the Wilds 2 seems very strong. Didn't play against Urza. What's wrong with Modern? I don't understand. I went to an event and didn't play against Urza or Tron. So it sounds like you know what the problem is. Sounds to me like you're aware. This is a little aggressive. Personally, I've almost always been of the opinion that the what's it called? I've almost always been of the opinion that Mox Opal is one of the biggest defenders in Modern and should have been removed a long time ago, and that card continues to just like see a ton of play. It sees more play now than ever. Yeah, I think the types of gameplay they generate on average is not great. They did just basically use their fires as a ramp spell. Yeah, they killed their fires so they could cast a third spell. Feeling kind of dead here. Casualties, there's definitely a lot of good ways in this format to attack these Cat Oven decks. And Casualties of War is definitely one of them. That spreadsheet you linked is private, Rainboos. That's actually a very good draw. So they're dead? We just get to cheese stands alone them here, right? Yeah, I love the combo kill in this build. Yeah, dead to the Trader Gator here. Sick. Alright, does knowing that they're on adventures change anything? I feel like maybe I don't want this Command the Dreadhorde. I think the Duress is actually a little bit worse if they're on adventures. Like, do I want this Duress? I'm not sure that I do. Feel like Wicked Wolf might be okay here. Put the oven back in. Disfigure could be good for Innkeepers. Yeah, that's probably an okay suggestion. No black mana makes this a pretty easy mulligan, I think. I think this is keepable even with no green. Am I not a fan of Vraska? I mean, we're playing 2 copies of Vraska, so I'm not sure I understand your question. If you think I should have Vraska in this matchup, I'd ask you why, and then ask for a suggestion on what you would cut and why you would cut it. Running green cards with no green land out. Feels bad, man. Okay. That'll do pig. If you want to splash for 3 Unmoored Ego in the sideboard, how many blue sources do you recommend adding? I think you need like 13, right? To cast it consistently. 12 to 13 is probably the number. So do I kill their fires? I think I just kill their fires here. This also like ramps them into Casualty of Wars though, which is just like not stellar. Feels bad, man. So I get to sack this, shoot you, pay this. Yeah, there's Bontu. If they have Casualties of War here, we're probably hosed. They have nothing and they're dead. Sick. Alright. Is having a combo kill in your deck good, chat? I can't tell. Is having a combo kill good? I'm not even sure if I want this Corvald. He's probably fine. I think 3 Bontu's too many. Like, in the long games, we can find him with Trail of Breadcrumbs. Yeah, let's just keep playing it how it is. It's possible that just, like, playing a 3rd Brontodon in the main, or, like, a 4th Mayhem Devil, or a 4th Murderous Rider is good, though. Yeah, this deck got a lot of micro decision points and just doing powerful things. I think this just isn't good enough. The mana's just too awkward. Mana's actually better here because this is a dual land. I think I'm going to bottom trophy and keep the rest of these. Hope to draw some lands. Yeah, I think people are going to, like, play Esper in this format, though, Marty. And Corvald's, like, pretty good against Esper. 100k shilling hype. Eldraine Standard 3.0 is super reasonable. If you enjoy sweet games of Magic, you'll probably enjoy this format. Gilded Goose with Trail of Breadcrumbs, just like being sleight of hand, is so good. So like if we miss a land drop next turn, we get to play Trail of Breadcrumbs and then activate Goose to look at 2. Good against 3 mana Teferi is a stretch, but it's like, it's fine. Passable? I'm going to use the word passable. Playing the Swordsmith out proactively in the face of the cat's a little loose. Yeah, and it draws a card whenever you sacrifice a thing, Marty. So with Trail of Breadcrumbs, he kind of goes into overdrive, right? Hey, MK all day. Thanks for the 14 months of support there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Bodan's probably playing Green-Black Adventures. So in response to this, I'm going to go ahead and Sleight of Hand, which also triggers the Mayhem Devil. So like... Is that a good one, chat? Is that a good one? Trefro, thank you for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Well, I guess they could have another beast here. If they have another beast, I get into a little bit of trouble. Okay, I'm going to 15. Untapped land. I mean, if you don't make blue mana, you can't say you're casting Sleight of Hand, so I'm pretty sure making blue mana is like strictly optimal. Man, this has not felt particularly close, huh? So, like, they attack, I block, I make a food, I bring the cat back, I draw a card. Is this good? If so, why? Please explain. Oh, oh, buddy old pal. Oh, buddy old pal. And we can sack this to the oven to bring back Mayhem Devil. It doesn't even feel like we're playing the same format. Like no joke. I feel like we're playing like modern and they're playing standard. Hey chat, we're about to end their entire career here. You ready for this? All right, so sack this. Get 2 food. Bring back the Mayhem Devil. Sack this, shoot the Murderous Rider. Get a land. Bring back the cat, sack this. Shoot the Murderous Rider, pay 1, draw a card. Sure. Use the Gilded Goose to cast Sleight of Hand. Shoot their Murderous Rider. Use the 1 to draw a card. Yeah, the Cavalier of Nights are very, very good. Sack the cat. Shoot the 1/1. Kill this. Are we gonna get TOS for this? Oh no. Maybe I just want a 4th Cavalier over this Corvald. The Cavalier's been real good. Ahead on board, ahead on lands, ahead on number of cards in my hand. Combo kill! Are you gonna let me cheese stands alone you? Please let me cheese stand alone you. Please let me cheese stand alone you. No! The cheese! You gotta let Bontu eat, opponent! Trader Gator was so hungry. Trader Gator was so hungry. Why are you so against Trader Gator getting to eat, opponent? Vraska seems bad against their questing beast decks. I'm gonna cut the Corval. Thrashing Brontodon doesn't seem great. Disfigure is probably wonderful against their adventure deck. I think I'm gonna cut the Corval for a 4th Cavalier. I think that's what I want to be doing. The combo with Mayhem Devil is just so good. Yes, yeah, Bontu lets you sack your entire board and lets Mayhem Devil deal 1 for every point of damage on it. There are decks that go wide around this. Massacre Girl. Yeah, I've gone back and forth on Massacre Girl. I had a couple in the board, and that's probably not an unreasonable card. I wanted to fit Casualties of War in, and I didn't have a good cut for it. But it's very possible I should have two Massacre Girl on the board. I agree that card is good. Still trying to figure out all the details and, like, not only what's in the format, but, like, what I need to respect and why. No, I want a fourth Cavalier, dude, like. Queue up In the Arms of the Angel with black and white pictures of Trader Gator looking sad to voice over about how just one Mayhem Devil into him. Of course this deck is on the website. If you're looking for sweet things to do in this standard format, you think this is sweet and you haven't seen it before, this is one of the many decks you're missing by not heading on over to jeffhoagland.com and clicking standard decks at the top. Lots of great curated deck lists up there of things that I think are sweet and reasonably powerful, along with videos of me playing them. Sick plug. Find standard, historic, pioneer, and modern decks up there. Hand's great. Buy its stuff. One thing that's kind of funny to think about with regards to Pioneer that we've been talking about is, of all the cards people were saying probably are too good and need to be banned, the fact that the deck that's actually kind of too good right now is just a mono black aggro deck is kind of funny. Like the Rakdos or Jun shell better of the other decks? I think this shell, if I was playing in a upcoming large standard tournament, this is the deck that I would be looking to optimize. This would be the shell that I would be looking to play. For Teamer Elementals, sounds good, puppy. And thanks for the 11 months, Modian. I appreciate that. I'm honestly kind of shocked they left this card in against me, just because, like, it dies to Mayhem Devil in a stiff breeze. Friendo. You think the power level is here for Pioneer? You mean is the power level in the deck that I'm currently playing here? Probably not. A lot of people are registering the deck because it's good, K-Smith. It's a pretty big fallacy that, like, if the deck's only putting up results because people are playing it. People are playing it because it's good. It's a feedback loop. People wouldn't have started playing it if it wasn't good. Find back your 1/1 while I have Mayhem Devil in play. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. Oh, so they're just on, like, mono things that die to Mayhem Devil. Got it. We're on the overload the Mayhem Devil plan. Let's see how well this works. Oh, chat. Ay, 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 ay. Do 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 do. Boo do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Is that a good draw? If so, why? Please explain. Help me help you to understand. Okay.
Time to step out of the shadows.
Alright, so they're going after my breadcrumbs. That's probably smart. Alright, so I'm going to sack this to gain 3, which lets me shoot this, and then auto pay for trails. I would love another Mayhem Devil. And then we're going to go ahead and use the Gilded Goose to cast Sleight of Hand here in response. Sack this food, which triggers my little devilish to kill the Foulmire Knight. Hey, look, another thing that dies to Mayhem Devil. Yep. I would love a Cavalier. Thank you. You got it.
Pity we couldn't have been allies.
Crunch. Double Devil is pretty decent. Dece plus even. You got a 2/1, friendo. Had a 2/1. It's a good. Had a 2/1 is a good distinction. Morning combat muffin. Oh yeah, you cracked that fetch, baby. You do it. You do it. Is there a finality in my future? The final countdown. Do-do-do-do. Be-do-do-do-do. Be-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do. That doesn't even do anything, right? Like, it's actually just dead? It, like, kills the Mayhem Devil, draws a card? Oh, so now it does actual nothing. So we do this. And then these triggers kill this. This card I don't think is standard playable. I think if you're playing a 6-drop in this format, you need to be playing, I think if you want to play a 6-drop in this format, it should probably be Not Liliana's okay. I think it should probably be what's his name though, or Casualties of War. Yeah, I mean it gained a bunch of life, I guess. You know, details. Kerthunk. All right, there's a Liliana.
The undead make great minions, loyal and silent.
Oh no, please don't make me sacrifice. I don't know how I'll ever recover from that. All right, so this is 2, and then this is gonna do 2 more. I think I probably just kill this, right?
Ugh, I hope you washed your hands first.
Did I miss lethal here? I don't think so. I would have been able to do 2 more to them. Oh, this deck's great. I feel like the mirrors of this deck are probably going to be pretty awful, but for the short period of time where we're like the only one playing it, it's going to be great. Whoopsie pupsie. Whoopsie pupsie. There's no wrong way to eat this, Reese's chat. The red splash is really good. The red splash is really good. I've seen people working on straight green black, and I think you're doing yourself a pretty big disservice by not just like splashing into Mayhem Devil. I also think Cavalier's done some heavy lifting for us. It's like another removal spell. I think I'm gonna do this as just my 6 drop, my 5 drops here. I think I wouldn't mind some Massacre Girls. I don't know. Massacre Girl doesn't have a foil. So like, if I'm not certain I want to play this card, I probably don't, because like, who wants this ugly non-foil in my deck? I'm gonna err on the side of not for now. With 4 Cavaliers in my main deck lifelinking, I'm probably good against a lot of aggro decks. And like, Vish picks off their smaller things too. I don't know. Not having a foil aside, I'm not sure that Massacre Girl is super necessary. Feel like the matchups where she's good, we're probably already okay. What problem are you solving by adding Liliana's Triumph to my deck? Don't just play bad cards because they're kind of on theme. Would be my advice. Bottom Cavalier here? Yeah, probably Cavalier. I wonder if they're conceding because they don't want to show their deck. This is, Bontu is an MPL member, I believe. Yeah, I bet they saw my name and know I'm streaming. And I bet they're trying to test something for the Mythic Championship that's coming up. Brad Delson had tweeted something about deck submission deadlines coming up soon. So yeah, I bet that was a concession because they know I'm streaming. Not uncommon. In Magic Online, people would often concede leagues where they were 4-0, so their 5-0 deck list wouldn't be published if they had an upcoming event. Looking for a land here. Yeah, we intimidated an MPL player, chat. We're heading to the big leagues. We're real bigly, chat. The bigliest of leagues. Hey, Lucas. Thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Hey, no problem. Good luck in hammering out your deck choice for the upcoming event. This block is free, right? Rimrock Knight. This block is not free. God, I gotta stop and think about it for a moment. Could have been a disaster. I think I just want my extra black source for now. Prioritizing getting to triple black seems pretty important. It's a good draw. I gave Bertu a sword, so they'll be able to talk even when they're not sub tier. Although I do appreciate the prime. Second Devil-y. Sounds good. Go ahead and eat the Cauldron Familiar here. Have you ever conceded due to an upcoming tournament? I don't think so. I've always been a content first kind of person. Content's always paid more than tournaments for me. All right, now I'm gonna grab a mountain. So we go Devil, bring back the cat, shoot this, drain you, sack the cat, shoot this. Mayhem Devil just really flexing itself here, how good it is against aggressive decks. Is it worth losing a food to gain 4? Yeah, probably. So they're gonna attack with this. I'm gonna bring the cat back and jump block. Although I guess if I miss a land now, I don't have a food to bring the cat back next turn. Never didn't have it. So let's play this, shoot the Knight of the Ebon Legion.
I won't forgive this.
This card's interesting. One of the players at the last Mythic Championship was playing that one. This deck has a good, I think this deck has a good aggro matchup, Marty, yeah. Again, we have Devil in our hand, so we're gonna hang tight for a second as far as bringing the cat back goes. Now, I think this deck has the tools to be competitive in most matchups.
Don't dwell on what's about.
Vraska gets to eat the cat. We draw a card, we gain a life, we shoot this, and yeah, like, Cavalier of Night's gonna come down next turn and just like, and then we'll make a food here so we can bring the cat back again. And then we'll block and sack the cat and, like, deal damage to them the whole time while we're doing this too, which is great. Lava Coil, Disfigure, Wicked Wolf in. Honestly, Brontodon's probably good because not only because of its body, but because it destroys their sword as well, right? This is probably a God-Eternal Bontu out matchup. What all do I want to get rid of here? I feel like I have a lot of cards that are potentially good. Do I trim a Cavalier just because I don't want to get caught with too much top end? I am bringing in Wicked Wolf as well. I have 6 cards I need to cut still. Maybe it's not a Brontodon matchup. A lot of their things outsize this. You can trim a Trail, because I don't have time to, like, activate that a bunch. Maybe Vraska's just the cut. Again, lowering my curve, and she's kind of clunky as far as removal goes. We're playing against Red-Black Knights currently. Let's try this. It's very possible that these lava coils in the sideboard are unnecessary. Like, maybe that's just too much removal here. Because if I don't have lava coils to bring in, the ins and outs line up a little bit better. Yeah, oh, you know what? Dead weight is legal in this format, right? I believe someone had suggested dead weight at one point. Dead weight's like a sorcery speed disfigure that you can find with Trail. Deadweight is legal, yeah. Rimrock me, baby. Was that a good draw? Oh, we could just play Bone Crusher Giant? That's actually not... Bone Crusher Giant's a good suggestion. I like that idea. Yeah, I don't think the exile is super necessary. And with the black mana this deck has, I don't think we really need Lava Coil to kill bigger green creatures, because we have, like, Murderous Riders and Trophies and Vraskas and stuff. Yeah, maybe we're gonna cut the coils and try some other things in those slots. We can play with those those board slots after this match. Hopefully their turn is just like casting Embercleave here and we get to Murderous Rider them. Sick. We're no longer a percentage gamer, chat. I'm scared. It's been so long. I don't know how to not be a percentage gamer. Yeah, things lined up really well for us there. All right, so lava coils and disfigures. All right, let's do a lesson on how to construct sideboards here. So, questions on how to figure out deck building. So, one of the things you need to do when deck building is consider what your ins and outs are. No foil deadweight. God, what a tilt. So, for example, when figuring out how I want to construct my sideboard, I would ask myself the question, what cards do I think I want to cut in particular matchups? So, for example, I want to think about how do I want to board against Red-Black Knights. I think against Red-Black Knights, I want to cut my God-Eternal Bontu just because I don't really need that combo aspect to it. It's possible I want to cut Vraska. I probably want to trim at least one Trail of Breadcrumbs. And honestly, looking at my deck, I don't really feel like I need that many cards, right? So I think like 5 at most. And like looking at my sideboard here, I already had 3 Wicked Wolves that are like easy ins for this matchup, right? So that means like, okay, so I probably want 2 more cards in my sideboard to bring in this matchup. So like, do I want 2 Deadweights? We could play Bone Crusher. I don't think this card is terrible. This card's a little bit worse in the Oven mirrors, just because when they have Oven, you lose your adventure creature. I don't think Brontodon's actually that good against Knights. Between their Death Touch creature with their first strike stuff, Embercleave, the Knight equipment, the Knight that pumps itself, I don't think Thrashing Brontodon actually blocks super meaningfully for a lot of their stuff. I think Claim the Firstborn is too cute. I don't think I have enough ways to sacrifice their stuff to make Claim the Firstborn to be a playable card in this archetype. It's not like the other builds where I had Rankle and Priest as well, where Claim was very good. Honestly, I think Giant Thing with Cleave on is probably one of the better ways we lose. I think I just want a 4th Rider in the sideboard, or in the 75 to bring in here. And then do I just want a 3rd trophy too? Like if we're talking about what's it called being the best way to kill us, Embercleave, just like having a few reasonable, flexible ways to kill trophies seems super reasonable. So like post board against Knights, this would be my deck. That seems pretty reasonable, right? It's possible that Cavalier's too clunky on 4 of, and it's possible that Vraska's maybe a little bit too clunky, but she does kill Rotting Regisaur, which is a pretty scary threat out of them, especially when they pair it with the sword. So I think I would probably start here. And then looking at this from the sideboard, that means I probably want a 4th Murderous Rider and another trophy in my sideboard to get to this configuration. So you can see I made a copy of my deck. So what I'm going to do here is come back over to here where I had some sideboard slots open. So I'm going to go ahead and put a trophy and a rider in my sideboard here. And then that leaves me like 3 board slots, right? So I could play around with different things, and depending on what we need. Honestly, I don't really know what we need in the sideboard. I felt like we have a lot of play in a lot of the matchups that we're playing. I have to sit down. You can sit down and go over ins and outs of some of the other common matchups too in the same way I just did there. But I think overall, I'm pretty happy with like where the core of this deck is at. I think Mayhem Devil with Cavalier of Night to rebuy it in the late game is excellent. I think Bontu as a pseudo combo kill with Mayhem Devil is super, super powerful in these oven mirrors where the games tend to run really long. You could fill in the sideboard with a smattering of other things that may or may not be good. Like there might be matchups out there where Massacre Girl is good. Like if the Green-Black Adventures deck is something you kind of care about, you could round out the last Command the Dreadhorde if there's Esper control decks in the format that you care about. So again, a lot of different directions you could go. I don't know. Actually, thinking about matchups that might be hard, looking at the curve of this deck, I think there's a chance that Mono Blue, the Flash deck, might be a hard matchup for us. So maybe the last 3 cards are just like 3 Shifting Ceratops, just so you can like shove it against them. Like this is another card that comes in against Esper in case Esper's a deck that pops up again. I think this is probably where I would end for the day. I'm gonna put this up on the website. Veil of Summer is banned in Standard. Export this on the Stream Decker. And after I'm done streaming today, I'll update the list on my site. People who want this configuration, it is now on Stream Decker. You can grab it from there. Be up on my website later. We are going to move on to the next standard deck of the day. Got to make sure we get through everything here. We're going to play some Yarok Elementals up next. Before we do that, I'm going to hit a quick ad roll so I can get everything updated everywhere.